Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here, playing some more Pathfinder adventures. It's time to go into the eye and try to beat the game on heroic. Now, on the normal difficulty of this game, the final scenario does not have a blessings deck, and there's only one location, which is the rune well, and that location closes automatically. And at the start of your turn, you have to bury a card. So you have to, it's been a while I know since I've posted my other normal difficulty series, but if you remember or if you forgot, basically, it means that eventually, even though there is no blessings deck, you will lose because every character must bury a card at the start of the turn. At the start of their turn, that is. Now, you shuffle the villain Karzug and one henchman per character into the Runewell deck, and you can only close the location if it is empty, meaning that you have to put Karzug on the bottom of the deck and then clear out everything before your party dies due to everybody having to bury a card at the beginning of every turn. Now, in the heroic difficulty, the game designers take it up a notch by putting 2 henchmen per character into the deck. So normally there would be the villain and 5 henchmen in here. Now there's going to be the villain and 10 henchmen. If you were playing with 6 characters, there would be 12 henchmen, and the henchmen are very annoying because they deal damage to everybody. Everybody basically takes 1 electricity damage whenever a henchman is encountered. Everyone at the same location. So it's tough. I don't know if I can actually make it, but we'll certainly give it a shot. I'm really hoping not to get anything that increases the difficulty of checks. So no driving rain and nothing that makes villains or barriers harder. Oh, you must be fucking kidding me. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it because it is my first time doing it, but if this were my second time doing it, I would definitely pass on this. This is fucking incredibly difficult. So the villain and all the henchmen are harder by 6, which is tough. Now, luckily, I do have a good party for this last scenario specifically. Valeros will be helping everybody's combat checks. Lem can help everybody's checks. Kira can heal people. And Seoni and Seijen don't do very much. Well, Seoni's got that Staff of Shadows that can help everybody's combat checks as well. Maybe I'll be using that a lot. I don't know. But this guy is pretty straightforward, surprisingly. He can't be evaded, but he can be auguried to the bottom of the deck. So you really want to, find him with augury. The Medusa Mask works because the Medusa Mask does not technically evade the villain. So catching him either with the Medusa Mask, a Spyglass, is good, and then you can use augury or scrying in order to put him to the bottom. And then as long as you never fail any combat checks from that point forward, you'll eventually make it through the deck and defeat him. On top of that, everybody takes some damage when he is encountered. So the more that you encounter him, the worse off that you are. And everybody takes some more damage, and then it's hard to play attack spells against him, which makes spellcasters have a bit of a tougher time. Then there's also this henchman, which is basically deals damage to everybody. Other than that, it's normal henchmen. And then the rest of them are these Wardens of Runes, which again deal damage to everybody. So just a lot of damage coming out, and and you might have to fight the villain more than once because if you defeat the villain, he's not really defeated because the location isn't empty, and then he just gets shuffled back in, so you have to hope that he doesn't pop up again. Okay, well, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Now, the order is interesting. What order do I want to go in? I guess I want Valeros up front here because he's decent at fighting stuff. We'll do it by order of who's good at fighting things, Kira definitely being the worst of the party's fighters. I also do have Seijen. I guess what's good about Seijen is that he resists damage, and that's very helpful because there's a lot of damage being tossed around. So I guess that's a good character to have as well. Let's bury a card. I don't want to bury any armor because armor is good for blocking some damage, although most of the damage is just 1 or 2. But yeah, no, I don't want to bury the armor. Do I want both of these weapons? I can't actually discard this against the henchmen because they're immune to electricity. Do I discard a troubadour to explore again, or do I just bury it? Obviously, this is not helpful here. My decks are not optimized. If you know about the scenario going into it, then you can optimize. For example, Lem has Invoke, which gives blessings back, which obviously does nothing in this case because there are no blessings and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about exploring super quickly, so we'll just bury a troubadour, and we'll just take it one at a time. Alright, we're going to pick up a crowbar. This is actually a very nice pickup because I can bury it to the Runewell. Obviously, the Runewell only has so many boons in it. It doesn't have any monsters or barriers of its own, so the only monsters and henchmen in here are the villain and the 10 henchmen. Everything else that's naturally in the Runewell is a boon, and if you pick them up, that does give your party a little bit more staying power. I'm not going to explore again because I don't want to risk finding the villain here, so we're just going to go ahead and pass. Seijan's got a barrier card. I think... yeah... well, this is a d6 plus 1. This is 2d6, which is better than a d6 plus 1, so I guess the Arrow Ranger is the worst of the two. One thing that's interesting to note is that if you have an empty hand, then you get to bypass this, but you do draw cards at the end of your turn, so you'd have to somehow use up all of your cards in order to avoid this. So Lem could do it. He can always, like, help people and start his turn with no cards. It is a possibility. How good is Dominate here? Well, evade a monster is not that great because the villain can't be evaded, and getting a boon in your hand is actually pretty good. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, Lem has Augury. I'm gonna go ahead and... wait, what's happening? Huh? Okay. Lem, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Augury. See if we can get lucky here. Alright, well, we got some henchmen. We do need to fight the henchmen, so I'm not gonna delay this. The question is, who does Seijan want to fight? So, everybody's gonna end up taking a bajillion dillion damage. Although what I could do is I could have Lem recharge away all of his cards, helping other people on their checks, and then he would just be empty-handed. That's an interesting possibility. This is a bit safer because, of course, this deals only 1 damage to everybody, whereas the dragon deals a bunch more damage to everybody. It's 2 or 1d4 plus 1, and then whereas this is just 1. Let me think about this. Let's see, Acrobatics 14, who could possibly make it? Nobody, really, except for Lem himself on a very high roll. So, it's not super great to be dealing with this dragon. I guess this dragon's going to be a problem no matter what happens. There's no, like, mass damage resistance kind of thing. Does anyone have any of their... I guess the question is... does anybody have any of their damage-resisting effects, like the Sahedron Medallion or the Ring of Protection? So she has Augury, she has a Medallion. She's got 2 Scryings and an Augury. She does have lightning damage resistance, does she not? Let me take a quick look. I actually don't quite remember. So fire resistance... okay, so she resists fire and electricity by 2, which is not quite enough to block this, unless she rolls a minimum, or actually makes an acrobatic check. Well, I guess what we can do is, let's see, let me go back to Lem. He's got his Emerald Codex, so let's bury that. Raise Dead actually can be really good, because Raise Dead can bring somebody back after they die, and it gets back their buried cards. So that's actually pretty cool. This is a nice combat skill, which is good, and then that's charisma, which is not going to be that helpful, but it might, well, actually, no, I take it back. That could be helpful. That could be helpful to him and Sayoni. Both of them use charisma for their combat checks, and it can help them also make the initial check to be allowed to use combat spells. All right, let me take a quick look. Is this... checks to defeat Banes? Okay, so auxiliary checks are not affected by that. Alright, let's go for it. Let's get the hardest henchman out of the way here. So, Lem, I think, will use up all of his cards. And that way he can bypass having to bury a card or taking damage against this enslaved dragon. So I'm going to go ahead and recharge a card. Even though Seijan doesn't really need to make this check. Alright. Oh wait, it's not letting me choose! It's not letting me choose the order. Oh my god. It's not letting me choose the order. God damn it, that's really annoying. Well, yeah, there's just nothing to say about it. It's annoying. I guess I will spend a blessing then. In order to get some help. Anybody got a dexterity blessing in here? Anybody? Dexterity? I think Milani's a dexterity blessing. Does Seijan want to use it though? I don't think so. Alright, well, let's go ahead and do Gazra, because Gazra, there's no closing location stuff here. And, yeah, I'm going to lose these blessings anyway, so I might as well spend another one. This way, Sayoni can hold on to all of her scrying cards, and I can just scry a whole bunch of times in a row. Okay, so now Lem will recharge the Lamashtu blessing. And it doesn't matter that he failed, because he doesn't have any cards in his hand. I really wish it had let me keep the order. I could have saved a card, I think, if I'd been able to do that. Alright, she's just taking the damage. There's nothing she can do about it. And, yeah, like, I could have, for example, had Lem help her recharge the Sahedron Medallion. And then she would have been more likely to keep it. Well, I got a decent chance of making it, at least. Ooh, got it through. And then you know. So I think this is where Valeros is going to pitch his armor. 3. Yeah, it's better to throw away the 1 armor. Tragically, this does not help against... I could have reached... If this did lightning, I could have recharged it to block all of it, which would have been awesome. Of course, you know, that would have required also a bit of metagaming. Alright, let's go ahead and reveal that amulet. Recharge all these blessings. I'm not going to explore again. And I'm going to have to bury this at the start of my turn. So I'm going to discard it even though I don't need it so that it is discarded rather than buried. What am I talking about? Oh god, I'm terrible at this game. No, I'm going to draw my full hand of cards now. What? God, I'm so stupid. So I discarded that for no reason. Whoops. Okay. She's got to bury something. And it's a tough call here. I guess Papa Xantus really is the worst one. Because if I got Kira, I don't need that much healing. Let me think about this. Who's discarded a card? You haven't. You have. Oh, wait. I bet I can't even use this shaman, can I? Yeah, it's got this bug where even though you're supposed to be able to use it outside of your turn, you can't. Well, I guess I'll recharge his own thing. And then she should fight this, and then after fighting it, cast Augury or Scrying. Okay, that sounds like a good plan. So let's do this. She'll block the electricity damage. Notice that her blocking damage is really quite helpful. Lem has no cards, so he doesn't care about this. Kira, unfortunately, is going to have to lose a card. I think maybe the most sensible thing is to just discard an armor for the damage. And Valeros, I have to think kind of carefully about this. I want to bury the crowbar because it's the most useless one, so I'm going to discard the troubadour, and at the start of his turn he's going to bury the crowbar. Sajan doesn't care because he resists the damage, so having 2 characters that just resist all the damage is pretty damn handy. Okay, well, now it's time to disintegrate. 74% chance is not good enough. Lem has no cards to help out with. I guess we will recharge Mr. Poog. And also the Sammy-san, just for a little bit of help. Now we're at 96%. That should be enough with so many dice. Yep. And we can recharge the disintegration. And now that that's been taken care of, let's augur again. For Sayoni, doesn't matter. Augury and Scrying are the same here, because she automatically recharges things anyways. Alright, so we got more henchmen, which is totally fine. In fact, do I want to fight one again? Well, I'd have to discard a card to use her Arcane Blast. I'm not super thrilled about that, so we're just going to pass. Alright, Lem doesn't have any cards to bury. I don't want to fight the henchman because he would obviously not succeed at killing it, so Lem unfortunately has to lose a turn here. Well, no, I could actually use the Sign of Wrath. You know what? Oh, each other character location is got 1 force damage. Oh, it's not as good. It's not as good when everybody's at the same location. Is it worth everybody taking a damage just for... No, I don't think that is worth it at all. So we're just going to do that. And she's got to bury a card. That's a tough one. Do I really want to... I don't want to bury Augury. Even though Sayoni has 2 other scrying spells, I don't want to bury an Augury. I also don't want to bury this tiger because it actually is quite helpful. But I think it's a d6. Yeah, I'm going to keep the Augury. I think it's more important. So what I'm going to do now is explore this guy and take an electricity damage. For this, I suppose I'm going to discard, well, either the armor or the augury. We've already destroyed the most vicious henchmen, and with all these auguries that we have, 1 of Kira's and 2 in Sioni's hand, we should not be stumbling into the villain. So I'm actually going to discard the armor and hope that I can heal it back at some point. Okay, so he's going to keep taking damage. Right. As weird as it is, I'm going to discard a weapon because I'd rather discard the weapon and bury the crowbar than the other way around. One thing you always have to keep in mind in this scenario is that when that character's turn comes up, that character is going to have to bury a card. So you need to make sure that you don't hold on, you don't like throw away your worst cards and leave your hand with nothing but good cards, because then you end up having to lose them. Okay, so this is nice, this little ring here. I can just use it to block the damage from all these wardens. Alright, now let's see what we can do. So I think I'm going to try revealing first, just to see if I can get up there good enough. Lem's going to recharge. Well, we're not going to have any survival checks, so we're going to recharge the lizard. Broder can actually be kind of good when we get down to the bottom. Although, I mean, it's sort of like another augury after we've gone through 14 more cards. Yeah, I'm actually okay with burying him. But yeah, we need some friggin' help here. I guess Gorham for 2 extra dice is good, and hanging on to the crowbar. Shit, the problem, you know what, hold on a minute. We got a bit of a problem, because Valeros is up next. He is going to have to discard, he's going to bury this crowbar at the start of his turn. He's going to have to discard this weapon. Oh, man. Yeah, I think I have to actually keep this blessing in order to block with, unless we'll see. I could try to make this Fortitude 14 check. I'd need Lem's help and a blessing from somebody to do it. Alright, maybe we'll try it. So yes, I will go ahead and use this Gorham to help Kira out. She's up to 90%. It's not quite good enough. Sage Hand does not need that blessing, because we can actually use this to defeat one of the henchmen automatically, which is kind of nifty. So yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and discard a blessing here, give her 98% odds, destroy the henchman. And now there's one more there. So I'm going to let that go. Let's take it to Valeros' turn. Oh, this is actually really nice. So what I'm going to do here is now I'm going to bury the crowbar. And instead of playing a blessing to try to make that Fortitude check, I'm going to cast Restoration onto Valeros to give him 2 extra cards. Hello? Yeah, he got Jacquard Rose, which is pretty crappy. Yeah, this thing isn't very good at all. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and discard him to the electricity damage. And then I'll redraw my hand at the end of my turn, and I'll have another card that I'll be able to bury later. Sajan can ignore all this. She can ignore it. This is one time when Sayoni's definitely better than Ezran, I have to say, because she can just ignore all these damage effects without having to have something like the Sahedron Ring, although it's nice that Lem drew his. So Lem, Sayoni, and Sajan can all resist all the damage of these wardens. It's only Kira and Valeros who are going to be taking this damage. Kira even has the Fortitude skill. She could try to make this check, because her rechargeable blessings are the Sarin Rays, which give her a couple extra dice. She can put that on top of her deck. Yeah, sure, we'll do it. Let's take a 50-50 chance at making it. Oh, didn't make it. Alright, well, I guess... it's a tough one. I don't want to get rid of Augury. I don't want to get rid of my weapon. But we're getting rid of the weapon because it's not as good as Holy Light. Yeah. Oh, I should have had Lem help her! Oh, I'm so stupid. Yep, should have done it. Then, yeah, in fact, she would have definitely made it had Lem helped. Also, I need to remember to have her... Oh, God. She's going to have to bury a card. Crap, I forgot about this. She's going to have to bury something kind of good. That's annoying. Alright, well, anyway, let's see here. What if I, reveal this? 1% success. Good. No, I don't want to discard that blessing, I don't think. Lem. Let's put away your necklace. 25%. And if I bury this blessing, 91%? Not quite good enough. Alright, so what I'm going to do then is, instead of burying the Lemashtu, I'm going to discard it to the club. Lem will still recharge away the Necklace of Fireballs. And now Sioni's going to play the Blessing of Gorham for 2 dice. There we go, that's a good way to do it. Whew, some high rolls here. And he heals a card from the club. I think now it's time to cast Major Cure. This is where Lem gets 1 and someone else gets a d4 plus 1. So Valeros is 4, 1, 1, 3, 3. Okay, so we're going to cast this on Valeros. Didn't waste any of the healing, and Lem now has an interesting choice. I can succeed at this, or I can let it go to my discard, so if I pick up other spells, I can get it back for more healing. Yeah, I'll let the fates decide what happens to it. And I guess it's getting recharged. Okay, cool. So now we're going to end the turn here. How important is it to recharge this restoration? I think I like the strategy of Lem just having no cards in hand. The problem is that in order to achieve that now, I would have to recharge away my ring, which I'm not super thrilled with. I think I'd rather keep the ring on than try to avoid the burying. Plus, Brodert is a card I'm pretty happy to bury. So, let's see, there's 2 other characters. Yeah, this isn't important enough, unfortunately, with 2 other characters still to go. Ah, would have made it, if only. All right, well, we'll just have to heal that back. Okay, so we have 2 now. Oh, shit, I mismanaged his hand. I definitely don't want to bury the Shaman, or the Amulet, or the Slaying Razor now. Ah, crap, this is bad. I want all of these. I guess the Amulet's going to have to go. It's a shame. So let's go ahead and recharge the Shaman. Give everybody a card. At least everyone who has something in their discard. And then it's time to play some Augury. I guess Kira's gonna have to bury the Holy Light. Alright, there's the villain. So this is kind of good and kind of bad. It's good that I found the villain without any henchmen. Although, if I found a henchman... Actually, okay. It's good that I found the villain. That is very good, because now we can put the villain on the... Okay, that looks a little weird. I hope it's just a graphical glitch, because there's so many cards. Bit of a weird glitch. But he is on the bottom, I think. So it's good that he's on the bottom. But it's unfortunate I didn't find any henchmen to put on the bottom with him, because that would have given me some more information. But in any case, this is what we wanted to have happen. Now, we can't cast Augury anymore, because if we do, then the villain's going to get shuffled. So now we're kind of going into the deck blind, which is a problem, because sometimes someone you want to have a fight might not have one. Like, Sejan wants to use this Slaying Razor, but if this isn't a henchman, he won't be able to. Yeah. Okay, so do I want to pick this up? It's obviously a shitty card, but it could just, you know, it could help with, yeah, I'm going to do it. Let me think about this. I'm going to definitely bury Brodert, so I'm going to go ahead and recharge the Blessing. The idea here is that if I can pick this thing up, then that's an extra card for Sejan to bury, and it just helps with the group survivability, the more these boons we can nab. All right, Revelation Quill is actually really good pickup here because, well, first of all, I don't need any more scrying, so I'm going to bury that. It's a little risky. You don't want to necessarily bury all of your scrying cards because if you do fail a check and things get shuffled, you're going to want some more scouting. But at the very least with this situation and the fight's being pretty easy so far, I think I'm going to actually be okay without having to do any scrying. So I'm going to bury that. But what I was saying is that the Revelation Quill is very good because this does not shuffle the deck. It just sorts things. So I can just pop it now and decide how I want to do things. So does Sione want to have a fight right now? She doesn't. She doesn't have any combat spells. Yeah, this is definitely the perfect time because I can now make sure that a boon is on top for Sione so that she's safe. Alright, so there's all our henchmen. Okay, cool. So can anybody reasonably pick up this plate armor? Recharge it. That's actually really good. Reveal it to reduce damage. That's actually great because it blocks all the damage for the Warden of Runes. So I can give this to Kira or to Valeros, and they won't have to drop cards to the Wardens of Runes. The question is who can pick this up. Kira and Sejan both have Fortitude. Kira has a D6 plus 3. Sejan just has or Valeros just has a D8 for Constitution. Yeah, I kind of want Kira to pick this thing up. The question is, how are we going to do that? It's kind of annoying. Alright, well, I'm definitely gonna... there we go. I'm definitely going to pick up the Toxic Cloud. Oh, this isn't an auto success. I rolled a 1 on my D12. That's annoying. I thought that this would be an auto pickup. There's no point burying a card just to get a card that I'm gonna bury, so I'm gonna let this go. So I had a 1 in 12 chance of failing, which is what happened, but I should have had Lem help, maybe? Now I can go again and get that armor, but that doesn't make any sense, so we're going to pass the turn. Alright, Lem has to bury the Brodert. And now I have to decide if I want to, what I want to do about this armor. Do I really want to have Kira pick it up? Yeah, I want to have Kira pick it up, so I'm going to have just Lem pass here. Okay, and now Kira needs to bury a card, which unfortunately is going to be this Holy Light. She's going to grab this armor, hopefully. So Sissy Lem. I'm going to go ahead and recharge Oh, this is awful because there's no barriers here. So this would be a good card to bury, as would Invoke, because it does nothing. But I can recharge one of them and bury the other one later. So let's recharge this. And then Kira needs a little bit of help here. Where's the thing that helps with picking up boons? Is that what this is? No, that's the scouting one. That's Lamashtu. That's also the scouting one. Okay. Norgr, there it is. That's the one I want. All right, 95% chance. We'll take it. Close. As well as Cigar. So now I don't want to fight a henchman at this point, so I'm not going to discard a blessing to go again. We'll just pass. Very nice. Okay, so we got to bury a card here. We're going to bury Jacquard Rose because he's shitty. And I think it's time to fight a henchman. Actually, I'm going to have to I'm going to have to discard a card damage. This is... I don't think I need the Spyglass. I don't think I need it. Yeah, I'm just going to discard the Spyglass to damage. Because the important thing that we have here is that we got the villain to the bottom. I don't really care about scouting other than that. Plus, we still have a magic Spyglass in someone's deck. And those Blessings of Nethys. So yeah, I'm going to discard the Spyglass to the damage. Because what this allows me to do... Oh yeah, I got to do all these rolls. But now none of these rolls are relevant. We got to a pretty good state here where Sejan and Sione resist the 1 damage naturally. Lem has the Sahedron Ring. Kira picked up this fancy-ass armor that she can reveal to block a damage of any type, it seems. Yeah, damage dealt to bone, so it's anything. And this can reduce any damage by 3. That's actually really, really good. Okay, so I'll reveal that to block it. So yeah, Valeris is the only one who got hit. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal this. I'm not going to discard anything. I'm going to discard this to get a D6. Wait, is a D6 plus 2 better than a D10? Yes, it is. So I'm going to discard that, which also recharges it instead of discarding it, so that's definitely good. 25% chance of success is a little on the lowish side, so let's go ahead and keep the Invoke for burying purposes. I guess I'm going to recharge Poison Blast. I've got the Disintegrate if I do end up fighting on Lem's turn. And we do need a little bit of help killing this guy, so let's pop a Blessing of Gorm for those 98% chances. There we go. And because I used the club, I will go ahead and... I'm also going to recharge a random card. I'm putting my weapons on the bottom of the deck because I would like to actually see my other cards. Alright, Sejan. Bury the Wand of Force Missile that Lem helped you pick up. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and fight a henchman. And I'm going to use the Slaying Razor, I think. I mean, either I just bury that Razor and never use it, or I use it to kill off one of these henchmen. I don't really see much point in not using it, because there's no other monsters, so killing a henchman with it is the best that I can ever do. Okay, let's reveal the ring. She's going to reveal her armor. It's only poor Valeros who takes damage. I actually could have Kira pass him the armor because she just picked up the Sahedron Medallion, so they can swap it back and forth. Oh, reduce damage dealt to you by 3. Very nice. Yeah, we'll recharge that. That's fine. I wouldn't do this if the villain was still in there, but now that I know the villain's at the bottom, I'm totally fine with it. So can I actually do this? Can I just bury to kill this henchman? Is this really happening? Oh my god, that's awesome. Cool beans. Well, there's another henchman there. I could just fight him. I think I want to. I've got enough. I think I've got enough to kill it. So I guess it's just a matter of what does Valeros have to discard. Oh yeah, he's got another superfluous weapon to discard. That's fine. So yeah, let's do it. Let's speed up a little here. Let's discard Poog to explore again. Get this henchman going. If I didn't know this was a henchman, I probably would have not done that because I don't care that much about clearing out the boons. I'd rather have someone else clear out the boons than Sejan. But since I knew it was a henchman there, thanks to the Revelation Quill, or the Quill of Revelation as I like to call it sometimes to be fancy, I figured I might as well have Sejan, my ultimate villain killer, put in some work. See, I'm going to keep the armor just in case. We'll get rid of one of these superfluous weapons. Am I going to use this thing? It's nifty, but yeah, I don't think I'm actually going to use it, so we're just going to discard it to the damage. Okay, so let's go ahead and go punchy. See what we get with our blessings here. pretty darn spectacular, and then Lem will seal the deal. I'm going to recharge a Blessing, because there's no barriers here, and I want to keep the Invoke to bury at the start of Lem's turn. There we go. Gotta say, this +6 difficulty thing is not as bad as I was expecting. It's like the driving rain that made everything harder by 3 was way worse in that other scenario. Alright, what are we burying? I'm going to bury the Scrying, because we still have other scouting tools, and there's not even that many henchmen left here to defeat. Is there a henchman left? Okay, so I don't know if there's a henchman on top, but I do know that I have Disintegrate, which is a pretty capable card. And the Flask of Shock. Well, it's electricity, so I should actually probably bury that. Is this guy immune to... No, he's not immune to electricity, so we can use the Flask of Shock against him. But yeah, we'll just explore that and we'll see what happens. Mass Brilliance. That's intelligence, which is totally useless. I could have Lem recharge a card just to give her something to bury. Yeah, that's fine, because Lem is coming up next, so we'll just do it like this. 100% success. Very nice. So now she can bury that. And yeah, we'll just pass there. That was a pretty good turn. Okay, Lem has got to bury this useless Invoke. Does he want to go in? Well, I've got the Disintegrate. Yeah, I think he can actually do it, so we'll just have him go. And it's happening. So, Lem getting work out of this Sahedron ring. I'm going to start using my hotkeys. I like to generally click on things so that you can see what I'm doing, but in this particular situation where you kind of know the drill that I'm using all these various items to block the damage, I think it's fine. So do I want to discard the Gale Armor? Yeah. At this point, I'm feeling pretty safe. I don't think I actually need it. Sejan resists it all. Sayoni resists it. So you can see, by the way, I know that when I first took those power feats for Sayoni that, you know, have her resist fire and electricity damage, those are made very good specifically by the fact that there is so much unavoidable electricity damage just floating around in this game. Alright, what I want to do here for the last bit of help. I could obviously recharge away my ring, but this has been pretty darn helpful. I don't particularly want to get rid of it, and I have a lot of cards in my deck still. So I guess we'll have Kira use one of her Saren Rays, because she's coming up next. And, yeah, let's go ahead and pop Swipe. Would she ever use this in combat over the Flaming Ranceur? I guess she probably would. Who else can help? Sayoni could help. Yes, Shellen's a pretty weak blessing. Let's just go ahead and give him a D10. 98%, I think, should be good enough. Yeah. Man, I guess this would be a real cakewalk if it wasn't for the driving rain. Alright, I don't mind too much putting this in my discard pile, because I can always discard a spell at the start of my turn to get it back into my hand. We'll put that on top of the deck. Alright, we're done with that. Yeah, I don't think I need the Mass Eloquence yet, or the Sign of Wrath yet, so that's good. Augury cannot be used. She's got to bury something. Well, that's annoying. I guess I'm going to bury this medallion, because I've got the armor. I mean, the nice thing to do would be to pass it to Valeros, but Valeros can't even recharge it. I guess I could pass the armor to Valeros to have him block the damage, and then she would recharge this. There's not that many henchmen left. No, I want to keep this. I'm going to get rid of the Swipe. That could very well be a mistake. I'm not sure. It's a tough one. Let's go ahead and see. Valeros, he's going to have to bury this Flaming Icy Axe, unfortunately, at the start of his turn. Anybody got any healing here? Who needs healing? Yes, Lem has a healing card. Valeros could, again, use some healing. So let's go ahead and Major Cure Valeros. Do I not have any Mass Cure, the one that does a D4 to 2 different people? It would appear that I do not, which is interesting. Alright, so I think that's all I really want to do. I can't use the Shaman because the game's bugged. Don't want to give Valeros that Sahedron Medallion so he can block the damage. He's not got any armor, and he's going to need that Sahedron Medallion to block Kurzug's damage if he doesn't pick up any armor at some point. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give him the Sahedron Medallion. And hopefully she does not find a henchman. I'd rather not have her do this fight. Okay, this is perfect. So I'll have Lem recharge away an augury, which is perfect to recharge because I don't want to bury it. I want to keep some scouting, but it's also not very useful right now. It guarantees that she picks this up, which is she's not going to use, but she can bury it. And that's perfect. So we got a little bit of survivability, and she didn't have to fight a monster, which she didn't really want to do. Now, Valeros, I would not mind fighting a monster. I think, because he's got the Sahedron Medallion to block the damage. And then he can kill it with Makmarian's Club easily enough, I think. Not happening. Well, I have a 9 out of 10 chance of picking up this War Razor, which would be nice for survivability's sake. Does Lem have anything else to recharge? There's 2 more characters we have to go. He needs to save something to bury. Yeah, I'll take my 90% odds. That's fine. Plus, I already failed a 1 in 12 odds chance, so how bad can it be? Bad probability logic, yay. Alright, so let's go ahead and end the turn. He's got a Staff of Minor Healing, really? I did not know that. Alright, the weak link here is definitely this guy. Let's go ahead and cast the Shaman now that the game has deigned to allow me to use the card according to what the text actually says I'm allowed to do. Sione's missing a card. Okay, so everybody except for Valeros and Sejan is missing a card. Oh, it's nice. It does not let me pick someone who doesn't need it. Very nice. Alright, let's go ahead and use his staff as well. Oh, maybe I should have kept that Lem's discard pile, whatever was in it. Whoops. Well, anyway, I don't mind fighting a henchman here as Sejan because he's got 4 blessings in hand here, and Lem also has plenty of cards, so Lem will be able to help him out. This actually went really, really well because Lem picked up the Sahedron Ring, Sione and Sejan naturally recharge or discard 1 or resist damage. Kira found this armor that blocks a damage. But the other thing is that we fought that hard henchman right at the beginning. It was right on top. So because of that, we took out the really threatening thing, the thing that gets past Kira's armor and Lem's ring early, and then didn't have to deal with it anymore, which is nice. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to... Let's see. This actually is kind of helpful. I want to keep the Sahedron Medallion for the villain. This thing I guess I don't need, but then I want to bury it because I don't need it. So I'm going to discard the blessing in that case. Okay, I think that's how I want to do it. Let's go punchy punchy. See what we can do here. It looks like we got a nice 90%. So yeah, Lem. The lizard's worthless, so I'm going to bury the lizard and recharge one of my other not very useful cards. Maybe the flame cannon wouldn't have been that worthless either, but I kind of like the idea of killing the rune lord with a flame cannon, or what is it called? Yeah, it is a flame cannon. Yeah, I think that'd be a very fun way to do this. Unfortunately, Lem does not have the ranged skill, so this would be a D4 plus 48. It would not be using his dexterity die. Maybe this other thing is better. 2d8 in the fire trait to any combat check. That might actually help at the end. Alright, so that's nice and all. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of the Brilliance, which is totally useless. We're never going to need Intelligence. And now there's 1 henchman left in here, which she can kill with Disintegrate, actually. And that's what's going to have to happen. This was kind of a... I don't mind having an easy scenario, because this has been, as you know, a very troubled run, thanks to my own misplays, and sometimes even more significantly, the bugs. But, so I don't mind that this has been a pretty easy scenario, but yeah, this actually worked out pretty nicely, because I had a good party for it. I found this armor, I found the hardest henchman on top, I got all my scrying spells early and was able to put the villain on the bottom. Oh shit, this is annoying. I guess I'm just not going to use the War Razor. We'll go ahead and bury the War Razor. Like, I was hoping to get this 1d4 plus 1 to the combat check, but at the end of the day, that's not the most significant thing. And Sejan is just doing a whatever. I guess I could have had somebody try to help Valeros make that check in order to avoid him having to discard a card. I will recharge the Blessing of Lamashtu. Should be good enough. Actually, I should have gotten this above 96%. That's a little loosey-goosey when I'm doing so well, and it would be so annoying to have to deal with if it failed. So now there's only 2 boons and the villain. So I'm in no rush. We're doing fine. It's a shame she didn't find her Staff of Hungry Shadows, because that would obviously help a lot against the villain. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do the check, because it is an auto success. Picking up an extra blessing's always nice. Alright, and what do we gotta bury? I guess we're burying this useless short sword. And getting the last boon out of here. Oh, well, it is useless because there are no blessings. There's no blessing deck. But I can bury the card. And now, let me think about this. I don't need 2 armors. That's for sure. Why is it letting me recharge this? Oh, right, because it's the end of the round. Of course, right, obviously. I probably could have gotten rid of the weapon because I'm not going to fight Karzug with Kira. And I could fight him now and probably make it, but there's no reason to rush it. I'm just going to go ahead and pass the turn, let Valeros drop his whole hand, and then finagle things a bit. So actually, maybe Seijan is the one who should fight him? Yeah, Seijan's a pretty good villain killer. Of course, the problem is that Karzug can get through Seijan's resistance. 1d4 plus 1, so if he rolls a 3 or a 4, so there's a 50% chance that Seijan would end up taking some damage. So I want to keep this Hadrian Medallion. I guess we're burying a Samuelson then, because it's not that much. Yeah, so I think Seijan to do this. Or Valeros, I don't really care which one. Why not? Wait, why don't I do it now? I guess because I don't have the Staff of Hungry Shadows, but I do have the Wand of Enervation. I can't use them both anyway, can I? Yeah, I think this is actually it. This is fine. Go ahead and pop the, yeah, let's just pop the Flask of Shock. And, yeah, I don't really care about getting, like, the highest roll possible. Like, Valeros has no blessing, so I can have him take a turn and whatever, but I don't really care. So, yeah, Seijan, let's just go ahead and get this done and over with. Karzug! Alright, now the funny thing would be is if I fail, I could still win this scenario if I failed this, but that would teach me to be a little bit more careful. So, I'm not going to try to make this. I'm just going to pop this Hadrian Medallion. Whing! Alright, well, that's actually fine. I mean, if he had rolled a 1 or a 2, I wouldn't have had to do this. As it is, I had to pop my medallion, and thanks to his innate resistance, it's good enough. She is gonna take some damage, so it'd be nice if she could make this, but it's gonna be difficult to make. She actually, well, let me think about this. I don't need this Flask of Shock, do I? Wait, oh god, does this flask? I played it before the fight. It went back into my hand. Well, I can't use the Grizzled Mercenary, and I can't use Force Bolt, so I've got cards I can throw away. If he does roll maximum, that would be kind of annoying. But as long as he rolls anything less than maximum, I'm pretty okay with this. Okay, he rolled maximum. That's awesome. Well, so she resists 2 of it. She has to deal 3 cards. So obviously the Force Bolt is worthless. The Mercenary is worthless. Even though it's not worthless, but it's not that big of a deal. And now I gotta get rid of this, unfortunately. 2d6 is pretty darn good. 2d6 might even be better than... No, wait a minute. What am I talking about? I can't use 2 items. Right, the whole reason I played this before exploring was so I could play this and then play the Wand of Enervation, but this is not letting me do that because it put it back in my hand. Let's see, 2d6 I guess is better than 1d4 plus 4. 1d4 plus 4 is 6.5, 2d6 is 7. This is a better minimum, though. Yeah, I guess I'll get rid of the Flask of Shock and just be grumbly about the fact that the game bugged out and didn't let me add it to my final fight. Lem... Yeah, he's got cards you can throw away, and he's got the Sahedron ring. So even if this guy rolls maximum, I can throw away, like, the Necklace, the Augury, and the Scarzini Thief. Of course, Lem is the one who gets a low roll, naturally, so we're going to go ahead and reveal that and get rid of the Thief. Okay, Fortitude. She can, just get rid of... She can recharge this to block 3 and the Consecration and a weapon. Oh, of course she rolls minimum. Obviously. Okay. Oops. No, that's not what I wanted. It doesn't even matter. I don't care why. I don't know why I'm doing this, but we're doing it right. Okay, so there's, oh yeah, Valeros also needs to, do this thing. By the way, he's a transmuter, so thanks to the reward that we got at the end of the 5th scenario, everybody gets an extra 2 dice against him. Why am I doing this? I can't make this check. Yeah, so I guess the only real question is who does what? Does Seijan do the first check or the second check? I think Sejan does the second check. We'll have Valeros do the first. So, Valeros will reveal this, discard this, add on a d6 plus 2 here. Lamb, obviously, is going to be helping out his friends. So we'll recharge that 85%. Pretty good. She has 2 blessings, so she cannot play them both. So she's definitely going to play 1 on each check. 96%. Do I stop there? Well, she can actually play all this on the next one. Sejan's obviously not going to play anything. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this thing. Yeah, Mass Eloquence is not gonna help at all. So okay, at this point, I could take a 96% chance, which is very likely to succeed, and then get a really, really big roll against Karzug. So that's kind of like a little side goal, you know, is get like the highest roll possible against the final boss. However, at this point, it's pretty clear that I don't really want a 4% chance of losing this. So I am just gonna pop this Blessing of Gorum and make sure that it's a guaranteed win on Valeros' end. He could have made the higher check too. And now Sejan has to do the other check. So let's see if Sejan can beat Valeros' score. I would honestly hope so. Alright, so this is all... Sejan gets an 80% success rate just by himself, but let's go ahead and tack everybody on. So there's the Blessing of Norgorgorburger. Gazra, the Flame Cannon. Oh, I should have... you know what? I messed up. I should have kept the Flask of Shock because the Wander of Enervation doesn't add dice. The Wander of Enervation reduces the difficulty. Oh, no. Oh, that's such a shame. So I'm definitely missing out on some damage here. Yeah, I'm not going to do the wand because it's not going to add to the total and it's going to reset all these damn dice. 122. That's pretty good. Could have been higher if I had not used a blessing on Valeros and if I had had the Flask of Shock. Could have done even more. But that'll do it, everybody. That wasn't so hard. Yes, indeed. That was not that bad. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe if you did. And I'll be back soon with some more Pathfinder. We're going to start a legendary run with 6 characters, and we're going to use the alt characters. So that's what is in store. Let's go ahead and get some rewards here that don't really matter because I'm never going to play with this party ever again. But I guess I'll rebuild the decks just in case, for whatever reason I ever want to do something more with this party. I guess there is some DLC coming out with some goblins or something, so maybe... oh, there's more. Yes, there's a Hedron Tome. Okay, so we also, I think, get a card feat. Yeah. Is this bugged? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is bugged. I think you're only supposed to get 7 card feats total, if I remember right. If not just, if maybe it's just 6, but there was that weird bug where you'd get an extra card feat. Anyway, I guess we'll give her another ally. Guess we'll give Lem, well, definitely not armor, so, oh, God. No, actually, armor is better than another weapon. I don't want any more weapons for him. I guess I'll take an armor for some damage blocking. And she, I guess we'll take a weapon. This is actually, like, downgrading my characters. Fine, have a spell. And have another weapon. Would you like to proceed with your choices? These choices cannot be changed. Alright, so let's go ahead and get rid of the crowbar. And the Sahedron Medallion should go back to its rightful owner. Other than that, if I want to use this, D10 plus 2, D6 plus 8, and well, that's actually, yeah, it's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the War Razor. And this thing's not actually that good. Oh, wait, actually, I need to keep it, right, because I need 8 cards now. Jeez. All right, Sejan needs a spell. Glad we're getting Mass Strength. All right. Oh, this is some spell that I kept over. Wait a minute. So you have to use what's in your stash? Interesting. So you don't want to just keep things lying around there because it might cock block you from getting something. I would have rather picked up a spell from the box. All right. So many Blessings of the Gods. Jeez, I don't want this many Blessings of the Gods. All right. You need a new ally. You need to get rid of some items. Alright, what is this? Reveal this card to draw a new spell that has the arcane trait, then banish a spell. Bury this card to draw. Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't think this is actually that good. Oh, reveal to draw. I see. So you reveal it and you can like cycle out. No, this isn't that good. We'll just keep it in the stash. 2 to Arcane or Divine. Nice. Dealt combat damage. Shuffle. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's nifty. I'm going to get rid of this Flask of Shock. I never use it. Mass Brilliance is obviously garbage. And Lem needs an armor and to get rid of a blessing. I guess we're going to get rid of Shellin. These base deck blessings are just not holding up very good. I don't need 2 blessings of Nethys. Maybe Lem seems to have some shitty ass blessings. No, he's actually fine. Who's got shitty blessings? You have a Shellin. Yeah, that's junk. Let's get a Nethys up in your grill. Alright. I do love this adamantine armor. I guess we'll give Lem just a crappy full plate. And she has to get rid of a spell. Consecration's not that good. Alright, I think we're done, right? Yeah? Because what can I do? Why isn't it letting me go forward? Oh my god, are you kidding me? I have to use these unclaimed cards now? Maybe I've never had an ally that I needed. So this is actually kind of annoying, because these are some like legendary cards I got for buying the game. I don't actually want to put them in my deck. I'd rather get something else. Oh, stashed 14. Oh, well, that'll happen later. Okay, so what do we have here? Reveal this card to add 1 to any check that invokes the Goblin trait. And the top card of your deck to reduce all damage. Okay. Interesting. If you encounter a boon or a non-villain, non-henchman. Oh, that's kind of cool. Recharge, shuffle random card. Recharge, reduce all damage. These are not that good. I don't want these things. Oh, fuck me. Well, that's annoying. Okay, let's get rid of some shit. Definitely don't want that. Or that, or that, or that. This or this. I don't like this blessing. We're gonna get rid of it. These base deck blessings, man, they can just bite it. Yeah, let's bite you all. Maybe I'll regret this Flask of Shock. Oh, I forgot to do view all to make sure I wasn't throwing anything away for the party that's never going to be played with again. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you again soon. Take care.